Good evening. This is Hunter, also known as Cifaretto, on the Ascension Bronzebeard private server. I know I haven't made a video for about a week. I wanted to kind of update my gear sets, discuss Zul'Gurub raids and some new items that have dropped, as well as, you know, kind of reevaluating where I think Protection Paladin stands, what it can do. So this might end up being a long video. I'll try and be concise without skipping over information. I know a lot of you want me to put together a list of where to find all of these items, and I do have a spreadsheet with a lot of information about the items, but I don't really have all the locations. I think I have most of them memorized, so I'm gonna try and name that off in this video, and if I forget anything, I'll post in the comments or description where I got the items. So this is not gonna necessarily be a best in slot video, because there are so many builds you can run. Last time I made a video about Protection Paladin, I discussed the prospect of doing a Protection Paladin DPS build. And I think on the current raid, Zul'Gurub on normal, heroic, could probably get away with it with decent healers. On mythic and ascended, I would definitely err on the side of caution and use some more mitigation builds. And that's kind of what I wanted to start the video off with today. I'm going to be discussing a build that I created that I call the Pure Armor build. I'm going to discuss my CTC builds. I'm going to discuss some kind of balanced mitigation builds, maybe some balanced DPS builds, and then I'm going to go back and show you all a all-out offense, which I would not recommend running on anything above heroic for ZG right now, unless you've got God tier healers. Then yeah, go for it, test it. That's what the fun of the game is. So I'm going to start off showing off my Pure Armor build. This build emphasizes your armor, your physical damage reduction. I believe on classic, 75% damage reduction is the cap. And all of my builds, I try to maximize my expertise and hit. Just so, you can hit the raid bosses, maintain threat. If you miss, that's not good for threat generation. And yeah. So without further ado, let's start with the headpiece. I'm using, of course, the Cenarian Infantry Helm. Probably one of my favorite helms right now. I know there's a better one that's called like the Twilight Faceguard. I think it drops off either Sagoth or Kazakh. I don't remember, but it's off the new world bosses. I have not acquired it yet. I have not had a chance to run those. I've been really busy, hence why there's been no videos. But for the Cenarian Helm, you get that 641 armor, good strength, good stam, and I'm actually using a ZG enchant right now. I used a Primal Hikari Idol. Don't laugh at how little gold I have. I feel free to donate, So I used this Scarlet Punctured Voodoo Doll and a Hikari Idol. And in ZG, you go to the NPC Zanza. Let me see if I can pull that up on the map here. I don't know. Well, he's like by a pyramid, and you give him the idol and the proper voodoo doll. There's a whole list of different enchants, and I can't go into detail on all of them because I don't know them all off the top of my head, and we would be here forever. But the one I'm using is with the Scarlet Punctured Voodoo Doll and the primary Hikari Idol. You get plus 10 stamina, plus 10 strength, plus 10 hit rating. Now you need to have level 60 to receive beneficial effects. And in order to get this Cenarian Infantry Helm, you get it in Silithus. you need to have Exalted with the Cenarian Hold, and then you go to the Silithus or Cenarian Quartermaster, and yeah, that's how you get this helmet. You have to spend quite a bit of gold to get it. I think it's like 200 something, maybe like 190. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, love this helmet. It's awesome. And the enchant that I got with the Scarlet Punctured Voodoo Doll and the Hikari Idol, you need to have Friendly with the Zandalar tribe. That's pretty easy to get. A lot of people are doing rep farms in ZG on trash. You can buy coins, like Hikari coins, Gubarashi coins, Wild Branch coins. Turn those in, get Bijous. It's really easy to get Friendly for the head and leg enchants. I'm just using the Talisman of Protection for plus 13 stamina. You can get this in ZG. You can get it from a Zul'Gurub cache. If you do like your daily quests at the call board. You can alternatively use the Carrier Wave Pendant. It gives you a little more stamina, a little more strength. It increases your parry. It's all, you can really switch these. I'm still testing which one I like more. Alright. For this armor build, I know this doesn't give as much armor as this item right here. It's a shoulder piece. The Bloodsoaked Pauldrons, because that's 554. However, this gives you hit rating. I know some people are still struggling to get that hit rating up. It gives you a lot of stamina. I'll show you where you make up for the armor on some other pieces. With having all three of these Dark Soul pieces, you get a defense rating increased by 30. These pieces are just really good. I don't remember exactly what reputation you need to have. It's either Friendly or Honored. And you go to the Zandalar Island in STV to buy the plans for these. So if you have blacksmithing, you can make these on your own, or you can buy these off the auction house. They range in price depending on what their buffs are. I think a lot of the higher ones are more DPS focused. I don't know if these would be that expensive. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for them. I guess probably a little bit because I have 1 gold right now. But if you do have blacksmithing, what you need to make these, they're all kind of the same. Let's go here. You need thorium bars, solderites, which drop in ZG. They have gone up in price in the auction house, and large opals. And as you can see, I go to the leggings, same kind of recipe with some slight difference in amounts. I love these pieces. They're great for tanking. They're great for armor. Could not recommend them more. I use them in a ton of the builds that I'm going to show you today. And that's why this one's going to be a little longer, this armor build, is because I'm kind of introducing the Dark Soul pieces. And for my back piece, I have the Cloak of Warding of the Champion. One of my really good friends on Ascension, Barker, made this for me. I believe it's a level 300 tailoring item. So it gives you 212 armor off the rip, gives you 12 stamina, and I have the enchant, I think it's called greater defense or superior defense for Cloak, which gives me the plus 70 armor. And I'm fine with the plus strength, plus 6 attack power. Totally cool with it. You need tailoring. I don't remember the exact items you need. I know you need bolts of rune cloth, maybe 22 to get the full upgrade to superior. and maybe 4 Guardian Stones, and there's an Arcanite bar, I think is the recipe you need. So 1 Arcanite bar, 4 Guardian Stones, 22 bolts of Rune Cloth to get the fully upgraded version. And then, as I said, I applied the plus 70 armor. This is not a build where I'm going to be adding the plus 5 resistances. Again, I'm emphasizing physical damage reduction here. Dark Soul Breastplate of the Beast. Again, 721 armor. This is the same blacksmithing piece that goes with the Dark Soul shoulders and leggings, and you need 300 blacksmithing for it. You know, it's not the best roll I got. Plus 5 agility, plus 6 attack power. But hey, I'm running out of money, and this is what I can kind of handle right now. So I'd highly recommend this piece for this armor build. Really increases your health by a lot. I mean, 36 stam. If I get a better roll, I will apply the plus 4 all stats to it, because I use it again in a lot of my sets. I'm still using the Sentinel Vambraces, and depending on if you can get all of these pieces or not, you can really go any way you want with the enchant that you apply to it. You can add stamina, you can add expertise. I might end up adding expertise on these because there's one build I'm showing where I'm at 25 out of 26 expertise. I'm not too worried about that, but that's something I'm thinking about doing. And again, this is a reputation-based piece. So you need to have Exalted with the Cenarian Hold in Silithus, and just like the Cenarian Helm, you go to the Cenarian Quartermaster in Silithus, and it's a little cheaper than the Cenarian Infantry Helm. So I'm using the Sacrificial Gauntlets. These are mythic, so they have a little extra armor and strength and better stats. I'm sure there's other hand pieces you could get. I don't know any off the top of my head. Maybe like the Bloodsoaked gauntlets, maybe another like blacksmithing recipe, but this is what I'm using, and I'm sorry that I don't know every piece of gear in the game right now. I'm trying to learn everything as much as I can so I can make as high quality videos as possible, but this is what I'm using. You get 486 armor, you get the extra strength, I use the plus 6 expertise rating on gloves. You get a decent hit rating bonus. You get decent expertise with this. Gives you a little more strength. I see nothing wrong with this. I don't think these will be permanent as I learn more about like what hand pieces are best. But, you know, it was a mythic item that I rolled on. And yeah, really like it. I have no complaints so far. Again, with the waist pieces for Protection Paladin, you can go with a lot of different things. I went for the pure armor here. I currently can't afford a belt enchant for the handcrafted Mastersmith girdle. I got this in a heroic dungeon. I think it was Lower Sholomance. Might have been off of Vectis or the Marduk guy. Again, memory with those is tough because I've just ran so many. And again, if you want to kind of, you know, if you don't want to completely maximize armor, you know, you can use Unmelting Ice Girdle, 448 armor, and I have the block value enchant on this. Gives you a little more stamina. You can just see my health went way up. Or if you're lacking the hit rate and you want a little more strength with decent armor still, go for the Crusader's Girdle. I'm really going back and forth on these, just testing it all out. And another really high armor piece that gives you a ton of stamina, a ton of strength, is the Dark Soul leggings with quick defense. I was lucky to make this on my first craft, so I'm really happy with this piece. I have the... I'm not using the ZG enchant for these legs. I like to get a little more health, So I use the Lesser Arcanum of Constitution. And again, that's a quest that you need to go to Fellwood, Blasted Lands, Burning Steps to get. You can find the guide on like Wowhead for that. Just a really great piece. I mean, these Dark Soul pieces are so good. I'm still using Stompers of Argent Dawn. 547 armor. Plus 11 strength. Plus 24 stamina. And I use the plus 7 stamina enchant. Gives you a little more CTC with the shield block rating and block value. Still love these. Someone sent me some other feat that just recently came out. Not the Bloodsoaked feat that drops in ZG, but it was maybe off one of the world bosses. And I will try and find that later. But yeah, this is what I use for my armor build. Protector's Ring. You can, again, buy this in the Stormwind or Orgrimmar ring shop. In the Stormwind, it's right outside the Mage Quarter and Stockades. They're not cheap. 600 gold. Give you expertise and hit. I've actually kind of circled back to using the Nagel Ring for this armor build. Gives you 119 armor, which is really, really good. Gives you expertise. I don't really care about the arcane damage, but hey, it's good. It's more damage for you. You know, this is an expensive piece, so I know not everyone will be able to afford this. There is a cheaper ring in Timbermaw, the Timbermaw Quartermaster. It's like the last ring in the like you're going through the shop, it's like on the last page. I think it's 120 gold. It's called like the Peak Ring or something. It gives you a ton of armor. I've considered buying it and implementing it into this build. Once I sell a couple more things in the auction house, I'll have enough to afford it and I'll try it out. And one more thing to note. If you don't have Exalted for the Sentinel Vambraces, there's a item that drops in Lower Sholo, or you can use Marks of Triumph. I think it's about 35 Marks of Triumph. It's the Fell Hardened Bracers. It gives you 357 armor. It doesn't give you the expertise, so I would highly recommend if you get the Fell Hardened Bracers. It adds 10 more armor. And you have to put the Expertise Bracer enchant on to get Expertise cap. And another alternative, for the Cenarian Infantry Helm, again, if you're not Exalted yet in Silithus, I actually have this Lionheart Helm of Protection. So it jacks up your hit rating, jacks up your strength, jacks up your armor, gives you a little more CTC with the shield block rating. This is not the most expensive Lionheart Helm. It goes about 250 to 300 on the auction house. You'll have to make up expertise. So if I was to run this, and if I wasn't Exalted, I would probably get as much expertise as I could from other pieces. I'm just saying that as an alternative, but I'm going to put this back on. And the trinkets, I like to increase my stamina. A lot of people in the Protection Paladin community seem to be highly emphasizing stamina. I don't disagree in the slightest. So with the Defender of the Timbermaw, you get the plus 20 stamina. You need to be Exalted with Timbermaw, but that takes like an hour and a half to get, if not less. It's super easy to get. Just do the Feather Quest in the very north part of Fellwood. The cooldown's okay. The Timbermaw Ancestor heals you. I haven't really noticed anything. I seldom really used it. But the next trinket is kind of the crux of this build. And it is, if you're going to be running this pure armor set, which I ran in a heroic dungeon last night. I just pugged it. No one was talking in Discord, no comms. I barely took any damage at all. I even challenged myself to not pop defensive cooldowns, and I was fine main tanking. It was pretty crazy. So I really do like this build. This is the trinket I'm talking about, and it's 80 Marks of Triumph at your Mark of Triumph vendor in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Gives you plus 25 stamina, improves your hit rating, but its use is the get out of jail free card. It increases your armor by 1350 for 10 seconds. And let's just watch this real quick. Let's go down to my armor. So right now, I'm at 63.31 armor, which, 63.31 physical damage mitigation. And now let's pop it. Let's have it bound right here. You go up to 11,502 for 66.16% physical damage reduction. That is 9% away from cap. I don't use Iron Foe with this armor build. Last night I was running the Rubidium Hammer. Again, you can get that in Lower Sholo or using Marks of Triumph. I need to apply Brutal Crusader to it. I need to get some stuff out of my bank to put that on. But yeah, it's awesome. I just put on the enchant that I had available when I first got this. Gives you a tiny bit of expertise. Probably will go up by 1. Gives you a little CTC in the dodge rating, but it gives you the 203 armor. So, that's what I'm using right now. I'm using the Aegis of the Blood God. I believe this drops from Hakar, and I got the Mythic Shield. I apply the plus 10 shield block rating. You can go for other enchants. There's the Stamina enchant, the Vitality one, or the Crystal Resonance one. But I like to always add a little bit of CTC into my build, so that's why I always show, on any of my waist pieces or my shields, you'll always see 10 shield block rating generally. And really the armor here is 2875. I'm sure the Ascended one has even more. I just haven't gotten that one yet. But I certainly intend to. And the Libram of Truth, again, I'm not sure where this drops, but I know you can get it in the Mark of Triumph vendor. It shouldn't be too expensive for, Marks of Triumph. I think I saw it drop in Lower Sholomance. I could be wrong. I just know a lot of stuff drops there. If you're looking for, any of these items, it's just best to run Lower Sholo, Strat Live, or Strat Undead. Maybe a couple in BRD, Hand of Justice, which I'll show in a different offensive build. The main kind of crux of this is the secondary equipped function, which increases the armor from your devotion aura by 116. And it's the only time I ever use the Libram of Truth, which is in this pure armor build. So yeah, that's the pure armor build I've been running with. I really, really like it. I hope everyone tries it out and gives me their feedback, because it is just great. And I want to show you another defensive set. Is it true CTC? Let's see where I'm at here. Okay. So, or is it pure CTC? I think it's true CTC. Yeah, true CTC. Okay. So, you'll notice that my expertise is not capped. It's 16 out of 26. Let's change that real quick. I know I have something here that has it. Okay. Okay. So, if you're running this build, because a lot of the CTC builds, I cannot get my expertise capped without sacrificing the CTC, the combat table coverage, which, if you don't know, is kind of the amalgamation of your parry rate, your dodge rate, and your block rate. And I've been talking with some people in a guild that I've raided with, and it's, I've been looking into like creating more of a dodge build. I haven't quite created that yet, but this build is wild. I think right now my block is obviously the highest, because before ZG everyone was hyping up block rating and block value, but I have started to try and find some dodge pieces, and this is a more obviously defensive build. And this would be the Mystic Enchant that I'm using. I have finally adapted to Crimson Defense. I like it. I like it more than Protection Mastery. Every time I've run Protection Mastery on Ascended or Mythic, it's not enough to increase the threat generation on some insane pumpers. That's what I've found, and I even use threat gen food. You're better off running one with the light or Crimson Defense to get that threat. I've finally kind of seen that. I'm not saying Protection Mastery is bad. Maybe I'm bad, and I just can't generate threat. But that's just something to note. Something that I have tested a lot as I try and mix and match these Mystic Enchant builds. So on the CTC build, it's all about, kind of increasing your defense and trying to maximize your CTC rate. So I have Armor of Wrath. So casting Hammer of Wrath or Holy Wrath reduces all your damage taken, and I kind of pair this with the Glyph of Holy Wrath, which reduces the cooldown of your Holy Wrath spell. So you can keep spamming this. This is really important on fights like Jindo, Mythic Plus. There's a ton of ads. They're undead, and you gotta get them grouped up and stunned. I like Blessed Hands. It reduces the mana cost of any Hand of Salvation or Sacrifice. It's good to reduce aggro on other members of your party. So for now, I've been using that. I have Consecrated Zeal. Again, a physical damage reduction. I'm just going to leave this here so everyone can read it. I don't want to go too fast. Baleful Hammer. I use this kind of in combination with Crimson Defense. Always have Holy Shield up. This helps increase threat with Avenger's Shield. And this increases your armor while Holy Shield is active. Still always using Light's Hammer for its healing, its slowing. Deflection's important for getting the parry rate up. Crusade for that extra damage. Glyph of Divine Plea for mana regen and reduced damage. But for the CTC build, Glyph of Vengeance is the most important. As you see, if Seal of Vengeance or Seal of Corruption for Horde is activated, it'll increase your expertise by 10. That's how I get to 26 out of 26 expertise. And you can see now, because I have this active, I'm at cap. Now to actually go into the gear. The Centurion Barboot. This increases your dodge rating by 12. Gives you some hit. And I have the Enchant plus 100 health. It's one of the most expensive items at the Mark of Triumph vendor. So it cost 85 Marks of Triumph. It's something you should save up for and get. It's a good tanking item. It's essential for like CTC builds. It gives you a ton of stamina, and of course I'm running the Lesser Arcanum of Constitution on it. Talisman of Protection gives you stamina and increases your dodge rating by 12. Again, I'm trying to get some dodge pieces in my set. Dark Soul Shoulders, I can't talk. This is more for like getting your hit rating, getting decent armor, getting stamina. I mean, you get plus 33 stamina off this. You get plus 10 strength. Pretty good. I use the Readout Cloak still. You get this off Mark of Triumph vendor, Marcus, probably around 35 Marks of Triumph. I've seen it drop in either Strat, Live, Undead, or Sholo. I'm sorry, guys, I don't know where everything drops. I've just collected these pieces. I didn't dock it when I had it drop. And I'm running the +5 all resist on this. Again, using the Dark Soul Breastplate, 36 stam, 721 armor, gives you hit rating. Ruined Golem Shackles. Again, this is an older piece, like a heroic dungeon piece, that you can get. Probably about 35 Marks of Triumph. It's good for shield block rating. And yeah, that's a good piece for your CTC. When it comes to CTC, nothing beats the Bone Clenched Gauntlets as far as I know. You get your shield block rating increased by 11. You get some expertise. I have the +6 expertise. I think I still need that to get my expertise to where it needs to be. Yeah. I use the Crusader's Girdle, which you need Exalted. Oh, and Bone Clenched, that drops off the Frostweaver boss in Lower Sholomance. The one in the room with the Alchemy Lab. And the really annoying ads that mana burn you. Crusader's Girdle. You have to be Exalted with the Argent Dawn, as you can see. I use this for its decent stamina, its good armor. I get the block value enchant on it. And I get it for its hit rating. I don't think, without this piece, I could get to the above 80 hit rating. Again, this is for hit rating. Increases it all the way by 22. And you get 710 armor, 24 stam, 12 strength. And the roll I got on this was, so 30 stam plus 100 health. It's pretty solid piece. Again, I'm using the Stompers of the Argent Dawn. On equip, gives you shield block rating. Block value of your shield goes up by 20. That's crucial for CTC. And when I'm done showing you the gear, I will show you what the CTC value is. Protector Ring. I'm using it for hit and expertise, the stamina, and the armor. Magma Forged Band. I don't know where this drops. I'm assuming, because it says Magma, it's like BRD or something. But if not, you can get it at the Mark of Triumph vendor. And gives you, shield block value, and stamina. Now to discuss the trinkets. So, this is again probably essential to the CTC build. You have a 1-minute cooldown on this. And this lasts for 10 seconds. This increases your block, dodge, and parry rating by 93 for 10 seconds. When I use this on Hikar, he was not hitting me at all. So, I don't know if the heroic one gives less. Regardless, I'm sure it is a good piece to have, a good trinket to have. And again, I still am working with the Signet of Vitality. Again, this is pretty much for that, you know, this could be on cooldown. Wait 30 seconds. Use this as a defensive. Gives you 1350 armor. The 25 stam is great. This trinket's god tier. Again, I'm using the Rubidium Hammer. Not Iron Foe, not Massive McGowan. I know there's again another like sword that's dropped off of Sagoth that's so good. And I'll probably link those pieces either in the description or I'll talk about them in my next video if I can acquire them. I've really got to sell them stuff on the auction house. But you get the 203 armor, a little more defense, dodge rating by 7, and that expertise by 2. This is more of a defensive hammer, and you probably want to use this for single target because Seal of Vengeance is used for single target generally. So when you have those huge AoE packs, switch your Mystic Enchants. You don't need this for trash. I think there might be a better shield than Dreadguards that's just dropped off the world boss. But for the time being, this is still so great for CTC. You get decent stam, decent strength. I have the plus 10 shield block rating. And you get an extra 22 block rating on equip for this. And this is a Mark of Triumph shield, I think. I'm not sure who it drops off of. Librum of Hope. Probably the only build I use this in. Actually, no. I use this for a seal twisting build. But gives you a tidbit of stamina and plus 9. And it increases your shield block rating. Alright. I know that was long-winded. So, let's show off some CTC. Give me 1 second. I'll just copy this macro. Without any buffs, your CTC is at 62.52. Now, let's do Holy Shield. And I'm just going to do this as well. Copy that macro in. Now, this increases your CTC by 30%. Or at least a value of 30, because I was currently at 62.52, and you need 102.4 to be, like, unhittable. Now, let's do the ultimate combo. I'm popping Holy Shield, and now the trinket. 122.14. And that's when you become, your healers can relax when you pop that. So this is my CTC build. I hope you enjoyed the work I put into it, because it took a lot of tinkering. And I'm going to show you a couple more. The main purpose was to show off those two, but I have a couple other gear sets that I wanted to show off. Let's see what this is. Okay. This is kind of a balanced defensive build. There's not too much to it. Instead of using the rubidium hammer for the extra block value, the extra armor, I use Iron Foe still. With Brutal Crusader. If you want extra damage, extra strength, extra stamina, I don't think this will affect my hit rating or expertise much. I'll still be at cap. You can use Massive McGowan. My HP is going up, and I think my strength goes up. It's 280 now. Let's just switch it back. Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of just choose the weapon that you want. Like I said, this is not a best in slot list. Again, using the Centurion Barbet, Talisman and Protection from ZG, Dark Soul Shoulders again, Overlord's Embrace. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually going to switch that to the Cloak of Warding. I think it's a little better. Dark Soul Breastplate, Sentinel Van Braces, Sacrificial Gauntlets. I use the Unmelting Ice Girdle for the stam, the strength. You get more stam than you would on the Crusader's Girdle. Dark Soul Leggings, Quick Defense, Stomper's Vargin Dawn. So this is very similar to my previous builds. It's just a little more damage. Nagel Ring, Protector's Ring, Defender of Timbermoth for the plus 20 stam, Signet of Vitality, Massive McGowan or Iron Foe, depending on what you want. Aegis of the Blood God I'm using. This one's not emphasizing CTC as much, although I don't think it's that bad. It's okay. Let's see if there's a better trinket to use. Yeah, well, that's fine. Although, the expertise is a little unnecessary, so... If you wanted more defense, you can use this World Forged item. The Old War Tome. As you can see, it adds a little more to my CTC. Gives me some stamina, as opposed to strength. Obviously, if you're going for strength, use the Archived Record of Inquisition, which drops off of Archivist Guilford in Strat Live. He's the second to last boss that casts the fire spells. Protector's Ring again, Nagel Ring. So yeah, this is still a little more defensive, but you can really mix and match here. If you want that extra damage without... You can use the Lionheart Helm. Jeez, like my hit rating is so high. You can really just do so much with this. This is just like more of a free form, defensive mix and match build. I've used it before in the ZG raid. I just wanted to show it off real quick. But I'll keep it as it was. Let's do this. Highest eye level. Yeah, okay. So, this was, again, like a build that still emphasizes stamina, emphasizes strength a little more. Not so much the mana stats, as you can see here, but this was probably, like, the closest I could get to, like... I think there's a couple items I could mix around that would get my item level up. But who really cares? It's all about stats and how you play. But I just wanted to show how high you can get your eye level. Again, my god, my expertise is too fucking high. A little less defense. And that's why, on this build, I have these 2 defensive trinkets. I have the Grillix Charm of Valor to get that CTC up in a pinch. And if I need the healing, Defender of Timbermaw. But you could honestly probably just do Signet of Vitality. I think this would lower the eye level or something. Yeah, it does. But, yeah, this is just something I wanted to keep tabs on. Let's see, where did this trinket go? Sorry guys, I know this is... There it is. Cenarian Infantry Helm. Insignia of the Shifting Sands. More of a strength piece, more of a hit rating piece. Gets you critical strike. Will be doing more damage. Ah, yes. So I don't have the full Dark Soul plate in this, because I got hit rate capped without it. And again, this one's not emphasizing necessarily defense or CTC. It's more of a balanced offensive build. So you get a decent amount of armor. You get 554, but you get plus 17 strength. You get an agility bonus, and you get plus 17 stamina. Overlord's Embrace. I need to switch that armor to plus 70. But that's probably the highest eye level cape I have right now. Dark Soul Breastplate of the Beast. That's still probably the highest eye level one I have. Yeah, I need it for the hit rating anyway. Sentinel Vambraces. I've yet to find the higher eye level wrist. Same with Sacrificial Gauntlets. It's probably just because it's a mythic item. And I guess I should probably change the expertise rating. Oh well. Unmelting Ice Girdle for the extra stamina. Because the Crusader is more for strength and hit, and this is balanced. It's not fully offensive, it's not fully defensive, but yeah. You could probably get away with running this on Mythic. Dark Soul Leggings of Quick Defense with the plus 100 health. Stompers always. I think I have that in every single set I have. Warrior's Band. Extra stamina, extra strength, extra hit. Gives you a tiny bit of expertise, which I don't need on this build, but there you go. Protector's Ring, extra hit, extra expertise, which you don't need, but it gives you a little armor. Like I said earlier, use this for a pinch, get out of a tough situation in a pinch. Defender of the Timbermaw. Your Libram, go nuts with what you want, because this is more of like a strength expertise. If you're feeling like you need more defense or stamina, go with any other Libram. This one that drops from Guildford, it's 4 expertise and it's 4 strength. I think it's probably one of the highest eye level Librams. Let me see if Firebrand's higher. No, it's not. What about Fire Gut? Yep. Okay. Fire Gut emblem. I like to pair this with the Dark Iron Mace. The verdict's still kind of out on World Forged items. When I've been in raids, I seem to get a debuff when I have any item with PvP power, and I don't think that should happen so long as your PvE power is 495. So I don't know if it's a bug or not, but I did get yelled at in a pug mythic for having World Forge gear on, so I quickly switched. I didn't want to get yelled at. But just something to keep in mind if you care about showing off your eye level. Your E-peen, or so to speak. Yeah, that's about it for the eye level, and again, because this is a mythic shield, boosts. I think Massive McGowan is the highest eye level item I have for a weapon. If you don't mind, I just want to check why I called this one pure CTC. I want to see if there's any difference between... Yeah, I don't think there is. I think it's the same as something else. Sorry, guys. Alright. For my last gear piece, and then I'll end the video. So, last video, I talked about the idea of a Protection Paladin DPS. I think you can get away with it on normal ZG or heroic ZG, probably trash and mythic. I wouldn't do it on bosses. Unless you've got god tier healers or you are a much better player than me, which is entirely possible. So let's just go over this real quick. Again, for offense, Cenarian Infantry Helm with the ZG enchant, with the Scarlet Punctured Voodoo Doll, and the Idol. You get plus 10 stam, plus 10 strength, plus 10 hit rating. This is necessary for this all-out offensive build because my hit rating is just above cap. However, if there's a Draenei in your group or party, you don't have to worry about it as much, but I'm just trying to cover all bases. I think that the Twilight Face Helm, or the Twilight Great Helm, is better. But I don't have that yet. All-out offense, go with the Insignia of the Shifting Sands. Again, this drops off the Cetus World boss. You can also just, it's a BOE, so you can buy it off the auction house for a pretty penny. I don't know if it's gone down because more people are probably spamming Cetus. I haven't checked. But yeah, that's a very good offensive piece. Bloodsoaked Pauldrons, plus 17 strength, plus 17 stam. I'm just going to see if there's any shoulder item I have here that's... Yeah, it's not. That one does have... These other Dark Shoulders I have does give you plus 4 critical strike. But I think this is just better. And this is from Zul'Gurub. It's kind of like a... more of a aggressive tanking piece. There's also the Bloodsoaked legs and the Bloodsoaked feet. And I think the Bloodsoaked gauntlets. Pieces to be looking out for, which I don't have all of them. But if I could get to hit capped, I'd have all of those in this set. But for now, I don't. I use the Phantasmal Cloak. I haven't really enchanted this cloak yet because I haven't used this set too much. I think I'd probably go with plus 5 all resists. You get the 17 strength and a decent amount of armor and a little tidbit of stamina. So, I'm using the... I still have not got this to drop in Heroic or Mythic yet, so I'm using the base Zandalar Freethinker Breastplate, and it comes from ZG. Pretty good armor, 709, 21 strength, 17 stam, 10 intellect, and I have plus 4 all stats on it. And if you'll see the Freethinker armor, the Heroes brand, I'm sure that's pretty good. I haven't finished the quest yet because I have not got the Heart of Hakar. And I do have the arm guards, but I find them to be the weakest of the pieces here. But this is a good piece for strength. I would definitely use this if you're going for all-out offense. Again, Sentinel Vambraces, I know they're in pretty much all of my builds. Just a great item. Plus 16 strength. Plus 8 stamina, extra expertise. Armor pen, which you don't really need, but it's more for the strength. Maybe Vambraces of the Sadist give more. That's something for me to look into. I don't know if I have those anymore. But the Vambraces of the Sadist, those you can get with Marks of Triumph. They're wrist pieces. The Fist of Phalanx, which you can get in lower Sholomance. I have the +7 strength and chance, so this entire piece gives me 30 strength. The armor's not bad either. Most people say this is more of a rep piece, and it certainly is, but I use it in my Prot DPS build. The Zandalar Free Thinker Belt, you get +13 strength, some decent stam. Obviously the Crusader Belt's a little better, but with your 3 pieces, you get an extra armor by 250 and attack power by 25. So that's something to think about. You could probably swap this with the bracers and use the Crusader. And I don't think your expertise would go down. Oh shit, it would. I don't have a lot of expertise. That's why I'm using these. So maybe I'll put the expertise on these or these. Sorry, I thought I was maxed. Dark Soul leggings. Again, this is... I think the Bloodsoaked leggings are the best for strength. But I'm trying to get hit capped. Still using the Stompers of the Argent Dawn. I think the Boots of Valor are also good. They give you expertise and hit. So consider those the Boots of Valor. And that's, again, a Mark of Triumph item. Warrior's Band. More of an offensive ring. Same thing with this. Protector's Ring, you get it at the same spot. The Ring Vendor in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. And I'm currently using it for expertise by 4. Protector's Ring's also a hit rating piece and expertise by 6. And it gives you, the stamina and armor. Not every piece is offensive. Again, not every piece is offensive, and I use this more for the 3-piece in this set than its mitigation, but that's obviously a great little trick you can pull out during an intense fight. So this increases your CTC even in an offensive build. Increases your armor by 250 with the 3-piece and the attack power by 25. And I'm using the Drake Fury scale. This is probably the majority of my hit rate that I get from this set. Again, I haven't been using the, the Spellbound rune. I don't know if they've fixed it with its proccing with Holy Wrath only or not, but I will keep you updated if I hear anything. Currently, I haven't. And again, Drake Fury scale, I think you get at Mark of Triumph. You have to spend 80, I think. I don't think you can get it in a dungeon. I think it only drops... Well, it doesn't drop. You have to buy it using Marks of Triumph. And I use Iron Foe. I need it for the expertise. Attack power is good. Chance on hit grants 2 extra attacks to your next swing. Dreadguard's Protector here, because of the +15 strength. Archived Record of Inquisition, the Archivist Guilford one. +7 strength, +7 expertise. Necessary for this build. And now I'll show you some alternatives on this all-out offense. So, instead of using the 3-piece, then for the extra armor, you can really get dangerous. Hand of Justice instead of Zandalar Freethinker Belt. Then, as you can see, let me take this off. Crusader Girdle. And get your hit rating up a little more. And it increases your strength a little more than the Freethinker by itself. And now, you have 12 hit rating to get rid of. So you can maybe find a piece or do the foot enchant to increase your hit rating, or go with the Boots of Valor, which I don't have anymore, but I do remember that piece being good. And if you wanted to, you can get rid of the Drake Fury. And if you want good offense, but also some survivability and more armor, Signet of Vitality. And one more thing. Spiderfang Carapace will get you to the expertise. So it's all dependent. So with this all-out offense build, there's a lot of things to consider. I bet my defense rating is shit, though. Yeah, it is. And let me explain something about Hand of Justice and why I still have this piece and why I think it's so good for protection Paladin DPS. And this will be the end of the video, but I wanted to show you this. Let's change to, I think, 4. Alright. This is my Seal Twisting Mystic Enchant set. It's kind of a hodgepodge of other Seal Twisting builds that I've seen. This is for single target. And the only time I would use Hand of Justice is for those, like, single-target fights. But, just to kind of go over Twist of Faith real quick. Using Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Command, Seal of Vengeance, or Seal of Corruption while a different one of those seals is already active, it grants you the previous active seal for 8 seconds. And it gives these seals a global cooldown. For single target, I guess you don't always have to use this for single target, I apologize. If you're doing AoE pulls, you can go from Seal of Command to Seal of Vengeance / Corruption. If you're single target, you can go in between Seal of Righteousness and Seal of Corruption. I start off with Seal of Corruption / Vengeance to get the kind of like the dot, the extra holy damage that stacks up to 5 times. And then you switch to Seal of Righteousness. Blessed Hammer. Consecrated Zeal. Crusader of the Light. You can mix these around, but I think you should use Crusader of the Light, definitely. I'm using Seals of the Pure, which increases the damage done by Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Vengeance, and Seal of Corruption, and their judgment effects. Glyph of Seal of Righteousness increases the damage done by Seal of Righteousness. Because these DPS sets, or, you know, I always like to have a little more mitigation, no matter what I'm running. I have deflection still. Light's Hammer for that heal, the stun, or the slow. Conviction increases your critical strike chance. Crusade, Seal of Command. And so those are kind of my current gear sets that I have been running. I just want to see if there's anything else that I have. Yeah, that's about it. I know I kind of went fast towards the end. If anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I still have not gotten all the ZG enchants and everything. So I'll continue to test. I bet the shoulder enchant that increases attack power is great for those more offensive builds. But, yeah, I've been using the +5 all resists for a while. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, you can always message me. I'll try and respond as fast as possible. Don't hesitate to reach out to me on Discord. It's the same as my character name. Yeah, and I hope you all have a great night, and I really appreciate you watching. Cheers.